Hi, spots and cheap pops. You're on the air.
Hi, spots and cheap pops, ladies and gentlemen. Vladi, Dottie, Silicon, Steve Valley. We're here talking the very best in pro wrestling, and we are on the eve of, yes, you know, Backlash, the spot in between WrestleMania and Backlash, and the build of Backlash. Not exactly the best time in WWE. It's been a lull. It's been boring, and we have 5 matches in the great country of France. And Vladi Dottie, this one, I don't think we're going to have anything different on it because these all seem like layups. WWE, they are having their premium live event. I believe it's starting at 5 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, but I could be wrong.
It's an early start on the East Coast. It's way early. And honestly, seemingly with how this card might be predictable, it's not like must-see TV, in my opinion. So, if something cool happens, check in with it. But otherwise, it's nothing to necessarily get too crazy about. It seems like we're coming down with a little bit of a downward spiral since Cody won it and finished his story. So
I don't know if I want to blame Cody.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming Cody by any means. But again, you mentioned the word lull. I agree with it. I feel like it's like WWE purgatory. It's the draft. It's Backlash. It's I don't know. It just there's a little bit of a step down. Now we're just sort of kicking the can back and forth and waiting for things to pan out and say, okay, this is the feuds going forward.
WWE has not been great. Hasn't been terrible, but it hasn't been very good. I would suggest, and we're going to get into AEW a little bit, I don't know if we'll agree, but I would suggest AEW programming has been better since Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. At least the Dynamites have been, by and large, more interesting, more things getting set up than we've had on WWE programming. But that's just one guy's opinion. But we'll get into it. Right now we have Backlash. This may be the least anticipated pay-per-view I remember in a very long time. A very long time.
Absolutely. And look at the percentage of championship matches. Almost all of them.
Yeah. But
nothing's going to happen.
Are any of them in any question whatsoever, though? I mean, come on. But anyway, Vladi, let's get to it. I'm defending the Purple Nurple. I was an idiot, and I took Samoa Joe just because I didn't want him to have that short of a reign. But I was an idiot. Swerve won. You now have a 1-match lead as we go to Double or Nothing, which after this one, we only have Double or Nothing, and we're done.
Okay. Well, seems like this is of huge importance. So let us begin.
We're off.
Let's lead off with the WWE Women's Championship match where we have the champion Bayley in a triple threat match versus Naomi and also Tiffany Stratton. Are you ready for some Tiffy time there, Mr. Valley?
I will say this. This was the one match that I thought maybe there could be a Tiffany Stratton victory. But, damn, Bayley won this less than a month ago. I don't think she has a Randy Orton type title reign here or a Charlotte Flair type title reign here. I think Bayley holds on to it. Triple H doesn't seem like he wants championship reigns to be too wasted unless it's Drew McIntyre, I guess. So I think Bayley wins this one. I was teetering because obviously Tiffany Stratton is going to be a major player. She's going to be a main event. She's already being pushed there. She has come on, and I don't love NXT talent when they come up typically, but Tiffany Stratton is someone I really, really like, but I don't think her time is just yet.
No, I agree with you. So you went with Bayley?
Yeah, I'm going Bayley.
Yeah, and I agree with you there as well. So, and for all the reasons you said, there's no way that you're going to have Bayley drop this title the first pay-per-view after. That would be total transitional sort of label against this reign, and it's not necessary at this moment by any means. So Bayley deserves it. She's going to win this match and keep the title. Is my feeling as well.
Yeah, and Triple H too. I don't think he likes those kind of title reigns. The last decade or so, and maybe even longer than that, McMahon had title changes like every couple of weeks at one point. It was really terrible, and I think Triple H is trying to stay away from that. Which is why we're probably picking most of the champions that we're picking right now.
Yeah. And Triple H likes to use a pay-per-view often to go make a tide-turning change with the direction of creative. And it comes to an end of a chapter at that point. And if there's any sort of critique I could have for Paul Levesque, it would be a little bit, too predictable at times, but
And his draft
always
sucks.
quality. Yeah, they got to improve that. Make trades live, like do something like an actual draft. Don't just sputter through the show.
It was stupid. But anyway, we already talked about that.
Brutal.
Brutal.
Let's go with the World Heavyweight Championship match. Champion Damien Priest against Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso.
Same thing. Damien Priest is not a transitional champion. I think he'll drop it to McIntyre in Scotland. I think you think that as well. So I think Priest beats Jey Uso. This is just it's a big match for both of these guys. It's Damien Priest's first championship defense. And Jey Uso just came off of a really rough spot in WrestleMania, probably the most criticized match of the entire weekend, I would suggest. One of them anyway.
Yes.
So
I'd agree.
This is an important match for both of these guys. If they don't show, Damien Priest could be a Miz and he doesn't get another world championship till 11 or 12 years later, and it's only for a day. So this is very important, even though I think Priest, the way he's carried himself has been impressive, but I think he wins and beats Jey Uso. I certainly don't think Jey Uso is getting that world championship.
Yeah, I agree with you too, and I also say that this match is underneath the microscope of many in terms of the higher ups at WWE. This is their chance to shine. Whatever reason Jay and Jimmy want to say in regards to their WrestleMania match, highly disappointing. I understand it's live TV, things happen, but that's going to stick with them for a little bit. Here's a chance for redemption. Two guys that aren't usually in this spot are in it together. So sort of fresh, it's new. Hopefully they do some cool stuff. And you know what? I do like Damien Priest. I think there's something to him. He's kind of a cool badass in ways, but I'd like to see him away from the Judgment Day and sort of doing things like he was sort of doing in NXT as well. So we'll carry on to a non-title match here. We got Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga.
You typically do not have someone debut and lose their first match. Tama is going to get a victory with his cousin Solo, and the new Bloodline is going to affirm their dominance or somewhat of dominance over SmackDown, just so everyone thinks that there's still a thing that we should care a lot about. So also Orton and KO can stand to lose. So I'm picking the Bloodline.
I'm with you. I'm picking the Bloodline too, and I believe we have a good chance of seeing Jacob Fatu finally. Yes. If I had to guess. So, and he's going to be a game changer. People are going to be caught off guard by how good that guy is. It's my expectations, honestly. Nowhere near like what Ospreay, what I personally have felt watching Ospreay, but that guy, that size, and the stuff that I see that he's capable of doing, I mean, even if he saves it just for pay-per-views mainly, I mean, he's going to impress people. So it should be a very impressive entrance into WWE for that man as soon as it happens. But, yeah, I'm with you. Bloodline as well. And we move on. So we got the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, champions against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the WWE's Women's Tag Team Championship match. Do you want me to lead off on this one, or you got it?
It doesn't matter. I think we both took Miss Belair and Miss Cargill, I would assume.
That's it. Absolutely. And that's, it's that this is what the people in France paid for. This is the moment they're going to get. Jade Cargill's first championship in WWE with Bianca Belair, of all people.
Is she really hold on. Is she really big in France? You think that's what's drawing all the assets to the seats?
No, by no means. But this is this basically is the Band-Aid of overly predictable nature of the card here.
Oh my God, this is so predictable. It's terrible.
They see a title change at least.
Oui, Jean-Jacques Cargill. Oui, Mastery. Oh, yeah. But yeah,
So there you go. They spent their euros happily to see Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair win this match. And then here we go to the actual undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes against one of the greatest to ever do it, AJ Styles. Should be a great match. But I have no doubt that Cody Rhodes wins this match. It'll be one that people can be like, okay, awesome match, and it just adds to Cody's story and legacy.
Well, again, this is one of those things, and they've done this with AJ a few times. They did it with Roman when Roman first, I think he beat Triple H. So it was his first WrestleMania he won. And if I'm not mistaken, AJ Styles fought Roman at Backlash there as well. AJ is a good guy to go in there and give a champion a first real legitimate great match. And we're hoping it can do it. But again, this is an important match for both Cody and AJ as well. It's, again, I always hearken back to, and we see it a lot. I hearken back, though, to one specifically when Dolph Ziggler was fed to Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. And it wound up being a terrible, terrible match. And Dean Ambrose never saw the World Championship again. Because you have a bad match with Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. FKA Dolph Ziggler, something's wrong there. And they really shit the bed, that particular thing. So Cody's going to need to have a really good match with AJ. And I hope they tell a really good story. They're doing the babyface. I'm interested to see if LA Knight plays a role. You guys check it out. We are of the opinion that LA Knight should turn heel. And something to point out that I didn't point out last time, Vlad. When LA Knight was having his rise to fame about a year ago, maybe a little bit less than a year ago, back in the summertime last year, he was doing some one or two word answers describing all of the professional wrestlers in WWE. And Cody, he said no comment. He said, I'm going to hold that one close to the vest. So I think there was a plan to have these two go head to head. And so we'll see what happens, but there's no way Cody loses to AJ Styles. AJ Styles is not red hot enough, as great as he is, but it's an important match for Cody. And also it's an important match for AJ Styles, because, when we talk about the greatest wrestlers in the world right now, when was the last time AJ Styles was in that conversation? So this is a point for him where he's going to get the main spot, the headliner, the main event. AJ's going to have to show everybody he is still phenomenal. He is still the same guy he was 5 years ago. So I think this is an important match for the two men's world championship matches. I think they're both extraordinarily important for all four contenders.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm with you on this, man. So,
does LA Knight get involved, you think?
I don't know if they're going to do that quickly, honestly. This can be something after SummerSlam, because then what do you're sort of forced to go job out LA Knight, because they're not going to have Cody lose to him right now.
I can see LA Knight beating him in SummerSlam. No? That's too short of a title reign.
It depends on where they go with this whole thing with The Rock. Is there titles involved or they're not? They left the door open, which was a wise move. So we'll see. But right at this moment, I'm not comfortable saying that'll happen that quickly. But he was drafted to SmackDown, right?
LA Knight, yeah.
LA Knight.
Absolutely.
And Cody is there. So
no, for sure.
So I think they're leaving the door open for this. So
they don't have any top heels right now on SmackDown. Who's your top heel on SmackDown right now? Solo Sikoa? Is that the guy? I mean, I'm sorry, Solo Sikoa is not there yet, as great as he is. And I got to be honest with you, when Jacob Fatu comes out, he might even upstage Solo, because he's just as big. He's much more impressive in the ring. And I got to be honest with you, I think one of the reasons that is because when you have to sharpen your teeth, when you are on the independents, you learn so much more many more different things than you do in WWE. Solo came up through the WWE system. He didn't really work on the indies much. Jacob Fatu has. So he's a little bit more progressed in the ring, and probably, I haven't heard him cut any promos, but he's probably better on a promo than Solo is at this point too. I know Tama Tonga damn sure is. So I don't even, when you bring those other two guys in, I would argue that Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu both are overall better professional wrestlers than Solo Sikoa at this point in time. I would say that. So they need another top heel. Was Roman is out, and especially if Roman's going to come back as a babyface. Who's your top heel on SmackDown right now? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, me too. None. I can't even think. Like
a top guy, a main eventer.
McIntyre's on Raw. I mean, they're going to have to either turn Orton or Owens then heel.
Or LA Knight.
Or LA Knight.
I think LA Knight would be the most obvious choice. And also, LA Knight he's still popular, but he's getting a little stale. I think it's the perfect time to turn him heel. And then you can start having him have a lot of fun with Cody. like we said, most of us would think, though, at the end of the day, LA Knight is going to probably start getting cheered more so than Cody.
He will get those cheers from those of us, such as you and I, that adore the heel most of the times, especially if they're witty and they're upstaging the baby face, and especially if it's Cody, of all people.
Yeah, but again, I think that pretty much covers the pay-per-view. What are your final thoughts before we get into AEW's night last night?
And you know what? I will admit this about WWE myself. Since WrestleMania is probably the least I've watched of them. I haven't really been drawn into anything. Checking in like on social media and paying attention to wins and losses and seeing it, but actually making the time and watching, it sort of has slowed down. I want to get past this draft and even most importantly, past this pay-per-view, and let's see where the show goes from here. So it almost seems like wrestling purgatory in ways. So I hope it's a good one, but that's where I'm at with this right now.
Thank you so much for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. For Vladi Dottie, this is Silicon Steve Alley. Hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching, and here endeth the lesson.